Hi everyone, this is a reading with me. I hope you are doing well. We're going to have a look and see what is coming through for you, and I really hope that this reading helps you. Okay, this is for all star signs. If you are here, hello and welcome. Okay, so I also wanted to mention as well that if you ever wanted to purchase any personal services with me, they are always on my website, shopmoonlightguidance.com, for personal tarot readings, rituals to manifest different areas of your life. There's things like black magic removal, protection ritual, rituals for love, money, success, marriage, business, home, healing, and of course the personal tarot readings as well. And there's also intention items which thousands of people have seen results with, so those items are on my website. There's necklaces, anklets, bracelets, sage bundles, candles, teas, embroidered cards which you can put under your pillow, and so much more. And there's also the thousands of 5-star reviews at the bottom of my website. Okay, so let's begin with your reading, see what's coming through. Okay, so first and foremost, I feel like you've been hurt tremendously through absolutely no fault of your own by people around you. Okay, 10 of Wands, it has created this sense of you always feeling like no matter what you do, you cannot win against these people. Could be people in regards to love, it could be friendships, could be family members, but you feel like even if you say one thing, it's always wrong, and even if you say another thing, it's always wrong, and you just feel like you cannot win, because if you are nice to them, they take you for granted. And if you're, let's say, I don't want to say like you're not nice to them, but like let's say you give, you know, you're giving them space and stuff, then you're also wrong for doing that, and you just cannot win. These people seem to always misunderstand you. They seem to always just make you feel like you need to hit your head against a brick wall kind of situation. Please don't obviously do that, but you just feel like no matter what you say and no matter what you do, it's always wrong. It just never makes sense, because you're always trying, and you just feel like people just are just so like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like you try to do one thing to try and help, and they just take no notice, or they don't care, and then you do another thing, or like you could do the opposite because you think like, oh, maybe they'll prefer it if I do it like this, and then you're still wrong for doing that, and you just wonder like, what in the world? Okay, like what in the world? Like how? So with people like this, okay, what you have to understand is, honestly, let me tell you, I know this sounds really, really strange, but the less you care, the better, okay? It's not about not caring about people, okay? I'm not saying that at all, but for people specifically that are not very mutual towards you, and people that literally treat you like this, okay? I'm not talking about people that are mutual towards you, they love you, they care for you, respect for you, obviously, like, keep doing what you're doing, but for people that just always feel like you are wrong, okay, and always create misunderstandings, miscommunications, and they are always just so prone to misunderstanding you because that's just how they are, the less you do and the less you care, the better, okay? Why? Because honestly, the less you care, the more they will get triggered that you're not doing that, and the more they will actually then try to actually improve their energy towards you. Now obviously, if you can distance yourself from these kinds of people altogether, the better it is, but sometimes with like family and sometimes with certain relationships, you can't fully just block them out. It's very difficult in situations like this, and I'm fully aware of that. So what I will say is that it's best, honestly, just to 9 of Cups, reclaim your power, okay? Understand and realize that this person is not you, right? Everybody feels differently, everybody loves differently. These people have been conditioned in a very specific way to treat people like this through the pain that has been done onto them by someone who's probably been doing that onto them based on how they've been treated. So it's like a cycle, right? So this is that person that's treated you really rubbish. There's another person here that's probably treated them like that, which is why they've then treated you like that, okay? And then this person here has been treated badly by someone else who has done that onto them, and then they do that onto them, and then they do that onto you. And so it's this sort of conditioning that has happened, but what you can do is you can actually release the cycle altogether. Why? Because you have the understanding of knowing that, okay, well, how they're treating me is based off their conditioning and how other people have treated them, and that they actually need to heal. But you know what? Whatever they got to do, they'll do. I need to accept, I need to understand and be able to dissolve this with some compassion, understanding, and love for myself, okay? Not trying to say that you have to like try and like, be like, oh, it's okay what they did. It's just mainly about not letting that constantly trigger everything else you try and do in the future. So what I see here, okay, which is really, really interesting, is that there are people that, you know, have perhaps been gossiping about you, making up lies about you, saying things about you, being rude, mean, or constantly misunderstanding you, or doing like little giggly things behind your back, which is just so wrong. But understanding that, okay, they've probably had somebody do that onto them, and then they just feel like that's what they do. And then also understanding that these are two different things, okay? What they're doing is actually a result of their own personal patterns and cycles, not actually directed towards you. When you can separate these two, it gives you more acceptance and understanding so that you can move forward with your own life without that constantly triggering you. What you will find is that in time you will feel stronger, happier, better within yourself. And not only that, you reclaiming your power only further frustrates them, which is, I think, you know, the most important thing is you don't obviously want to do things just because you want to trigger them. But naturally you healing and you distancing yourself away from these people and reclaiming back your power and loving yourself and putting yourself first just makes them further value you. You know what I mean? Like, it's this sort of sense of like, oh my gosh, we didn't actually succeed. They will just eventually leave you alone. All right, these people, they will eventually leave you alone. But the more you are running after them, okay, like let's say that this is even maybe a person via email, okay, who just goes like this, okay, and you're constantly trying to make them understand something, okay, and they just don't want to understand it. The more you are feeding them that energy, the more they just feel like they're thriving off of it. So the most important thing you can do is maybe just not respond, in the sense that, okay, you've explained yourself to them enough and they just don't get it. Like, what more what more do they need to do, you know? So it's one of these things where it's really important to reclaim your power, to not constantly let it trigger you. Some of you feel like you need to have the last word. Let me tell you, there's so much power in sometimes not having the last word and actually knowing inside that, you know what, I know what it is, and I know what's happened here, and I got this. Okay, so what I would say here is actually, how can you reclaim your power? Through understanding. Okay, understanding, healing is basically just you having understood that this is how it is and having peace and acceptance towards it. Healing is literally acceptance. Okay, so the minute you sort of accept, like, okay, this is what happened, this is how it's happened, I need to, you know, just not let it constantly trigger me, because that's then affecting my work, it's affecting my own personal relationships, it's affecting my own energy, my mood and my vitality and your nervous system. Then, you know, once you sort of get to that place where you kind of, you know, just understand it, and then the following day you think about it, but then you understand it, and then eventually after, like, you know, a few weeks or a month or even a week or so, you will sort of not think about it so much, because you're not letting it trigger you and you're not letting it trigger everything you do. So the Page of Cups here shows it's so important for you to take back that power, okay, to do things like meditation, to bring yourself back to yourself, to not allow your energy to constantly go towards those people. It's normal that you think about them, but try not to let it constantly trigger you, okay? To the point where you just get like, you know, because it's easy to feel like that when you feel like you've been done wrong in such a way. But the Page of Cups here shows that the more you feed them, the more they feel validated that what they're doing is correct. The more you don't feed them, the more they feel like, oh, what? Okay? So you can absolutely have power in this situation. You can have a lot more fulfillment and stability and happiness in this situation. These are people that honestly just, they need healing, but they also need to really go through a deep awakening. And listen, only they will go through that deep awakening. People in their life will also treat them in certain ways as well. Like, they will have their own karma to go through, but the less you worry about their karma, the better, okay? Because again, then you're triggering yourself, and then you're like, oh, but I want to see them go through karma, let me just wait. No, sometimes you won't see them go through karma. And also, the more you're like waiting for certain things to happen, like, trust me, you'll just be like waiting and waiting, and everything will just then be you depending on whatever happens in their life. But let me just remind you, your life is about you, and bringing that power to yourself is so, so incredibly important, okay? These are people that are just like this, okay? We've got the devil energy here. You want to stay away from these kinds of people as much as possible and live your life for you. This is so, so important. These are people that will do anything they can to take away people's energies, and you've got so much more coming for you. So Ace of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands today, right now, say to yourself, you know, it's not my fault. So comment it down below, okay? It's not my fault, and try to just Steer clear of these people, and if they ever say anything to you, try not to let it get to your soul, okay? They can say things, let it go over. Just understand that, okay, well, they said that, but you know, that's just because it's part of their conditioning and who they are. It's not actually part of me. And say that to yourself, okay? Really, really important. And you know, keep something with you, around you, that is evil eye related as well, because these are the kinds of people that can sort of cast those negative energies onto you and things like that. So keep something with an evil eye. Oh, speaking actually of evil eye, these necklaces are also on my website if anyone is interested. They're really special. You can just wear them. You can even just like shove them inside if you don't want anyone to see. You can also hang them up if you really want to, or place them anywhere. But they're really special. So there's also like the intention tie bracelets for evil eye. There's also like little pom-poms, especially if you want discreet things where you feel like nobody should like know. There's loads of those things on my website as well, okay? If you type in evil eye in the search bar. So that's the reading. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. It's not your fault, remember that. And also don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Everything is always listed down below for intention items, services, TikTok and Instagram. I post short readings on there every single day, so definitely do check those out, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.